To the study of the Old Testament versus the New Testament. We have been able to prove to you that the Old Testament was the proof or the evidence of the covenant relationship of God with the children of Israel. And we also said that this covenant relationship has laws that are guiding it. And these laws were given at Mount Sinai when the children of Israel were coming from the land of Egypt to the promised land. And they were given through Moses. And that makes Moses the mediator of the Old Testament. Now, today I want you to know that there are about 613 laws, including the 10 commandments that made up the law of the Old Testament, guiding and maintaining the relationship between God and the children of Israel. Now, these laws are being described with various terms. And the first term here is the law of Moses. The law of Moses. You have heard this, or probably you have not heard this, your first time of hearing that the Old Testament laws are referred to as the law of Moses. Why? Because Moses was the mediator of the Old Covenant, the Old Testament. And all the laws that God passed to the children of Israel were passed through Moses. Now let us see the book of Nehemiah chapter 8 verses 1. If you have a Bible there, you can turn with me. Now this is what it says. It said, "Now all the people gathered together as one man in the open square that was in front of the water gate. And they told Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded Israel." So you could see here, Nehemiah is saying that the Old Testament laws are referred to as the law of Moses, which the Lord God Almighty has commanded who? Israel. Now, I want you to also know that the Old Testament laws are also referred to as the law of God. Why are they referred to as the law of God? Because the law came from God Himself, and they were passed through Moses to the children of Israel. Now, when you read the book of Nehemiah chapter 8, verses 8, which we also read, it tells us something. Now, this is what it says. "So they read distinctly from the book in the law of God, and they gave the sense and helped them to understand the reading." So here Nehemiah said that the law is the law of God. You can also read on your spare time Nehemiah chapter 8 verses 18 and 8 verses 14. Another term that is used to describe the Old Testament law is the law of the Lord. The law of the Lord. When you read the book of Luke chapter 2 verses 24, you will see the account referring to the Old Testament as the law of the Lord, because God is the one who owns the Israelites. He is their Lord, and the law came from Him. Another term that is used to describe these laws of the Old Testament is the law. Just the law. Now, when you read the book of Nehemiah chapter 2, there you find that the law is referred to as the law. Now, let me read as you listen. "So Ezra the priest brought the law before the assembly of men and women, and all who could hear with understanding on the first day of the 7th month." So you see here, Nehemiah refers to the Old Testament law as the law. Ezra brought the law. You can also read the book of John chapter 1 verses 17, where the Old Testament law are also referred to as the law. So these are the various terms used to describe the 613 laws, including the 10 commandments. When else we meet again, we are going to talk about the terms used to describe the New Testament laws. God bless you till we meet again. And don't forget to subscribe and follow us to keep updates with the new videos.